has the same files. So mabuti kung kausapin lang ni Yusek Claire si Secretary Vince. Wala pong dahilan. Bakit wala pang sagot si Secretary Vince o si Yusek Claire tungkol sa kanilang koordinasyon sa pagberipika ng authenticity ng mga files na ito.
And for the record lang, sir, meron po bang, ano po yung mga nakita ninyong irregular dito sa mga inilabas po ninyong dokumento?
Marami po ang pwedeng talakayin tungkol sa mga dokumentong ito. Pero ang siguro basic fact is, walang dahilan na hindi tayo transparent sa budget allocations ng ating mga distrito. In fact, some of this data is publicly available, including magkano yung budget na nasa gaan naman ng bawat distrito. Pero yung public data na yon na hindi pinipresenta on a per district basis alone ay surprising sa iilang mga mamamayan kasi ganyang kalaki pala ang nakukuha ng kani-kanilang mga distrito. Ang nakita kong reaction sa Facebook. 3.5 trillion pesos ang DPWH budget ng 2023 to 2026. Ang mga nakukuha ng mga distrito umaabot sa 50 to 60 billion pesos during that time period. Ang mga average siguro, kung 3.5 trillion divided by 253 districts, ay mga nasa 15 billion pesos. At sana napupunta sa magagandang mga proyekto ang 15 billion pesos per district DPWH budget. Pero ang hindi public sa mga files na ito, ang datos kung sino ang nagpro-propose ng mga proyektong ito. At ang isang terminology na na-introduce sa recent discussions surrounding the budget system of Yusek Cabral ay ang term allocable. So ayon sa mga files na ito, 401.3 billion ang allocable budget sa taong 2025. At ang non-allocable o outside allocable ayon sa files na ito ay nasa mga 600 plus billion pesos. Ang 401 billion pesos na ito ay ang district congressman pwedeng mag-errata o amend. Ang outside allocable naman po ay iba ang nagpro-propose ng mga proyekto. Maaaring meron din input or meron din alokasyon ang mga district congressman sa outside allocable. At yun din po ay pwedeng uh, ipaliwanag ng DPWH paano dinedecide yung proponents para sa outside allocable. Pero para sa very short appreciation ng publiko, ang magandang tignan nga po ay magkano ang allocable budget ng bawat district representative at tanungin paano ni Yusek Cabral kinompute ito. Ibinahagi po ni Yusek Cabral sa akin noong June 11 sa aming unang meeting sa kanyang opisina ang kanyang high-level budget allocation formula. At meron nga siya pong acronym dito, yung um, acronym nga niya po ay ang kanyang Baseline Balanced Managed Parametric Formula adopted in the National Expenditure Program Preparation. Pero ang lumalabas ay hindi naman ayon sa populasyon, land area o pangangailangan ang budgetary allocation kasi may mga ilang mga distrito na napakalaki ang alokasyon kahit na mas maliit ang kanilang populasyon kaysa sa mga malalaking distrito na malaki ang pangangailangan pero maliit ang alokasyon. At ang nasabi ko na nga din po sa ibang mga interviews ay napansin ko nga po na may mga distrito na malaki ang populasyon at marami din po kasing mga contractor doon. Kaya maganda na isiwalat sa publiko ang budget ng bawat distrito at bahala na lang po ang publiko maghusga ano ang naging basehan para sa alokasyon ng DPWH sa kanilang mga budget. Wala pong dahilan na mag-cast out si Yusek Castro sa in-upload kong data. At I'm sorry to say this, but I think she will make a fool of herself because Secretary Vince and others in DPWH and others in Congress will confirm the authenticity of the files that I've uploaded.
Okay. So basically, you're saying may formula, hindi nasunod. Is that
Wala,
irregular?
wala,
Hello?
wala pong formula. Um, ang una-unang sinasabi ko po ay kahit na hindi ako magsabi na may irregularity dito, mabuting malaman ng publiko ilang bilyon ang DPWH budget ng kanilang mga distrito taon-taon at sa nakaraang mga taon. Baka yung irregular nga dito, bakit ayaw isa publiko ang budget ng bawat distrito sa Pilipinas? Yan po ang irregular. Dapat malaman ng taong bayan saan napunta ang 3.5 trillion pesos budget. Kahit sino na magbibigay ng kanilang opinion, sa tingin ko naman wala naman mag-argue against the need for transparency on the per district budget allocation.
Yes, we agree on the transparency, but I just
So,
mean,
so
meron po ba kayong
yung
plan
irregular,
to...
yung irregular po sa akin is actually not the data. It's more the reaction na parang hindi pa nga nila isinasa publiko ang kanilang available na budget data. Naglabas lang ako ng budget data tapos ganito po ang kanilang reaction. And all this time, until I brought it out, at ang data na ito ay nasa kamay ng napakaraming mga miyembro ng Kongreso at DPWH din, itinatago pa ang available naman pong data tungkol sa DPWH budget per district.
Okay, so just to clarify, sir, will this, are you saying that this is just for transparency and you're not seeing any irregularity?
Ang ICI at Ombudsman ay gumagawa ng mga investigasyon pa tungkol sa mga irregularities, linking, for example, the proponents of projects to the contractors who are eventually awarded the projects. The budget data is a starting point. There might be some cases where prima facie, the proponent is linked to the contractor, and that is an irregularity. But in other cases, there might have to be some further research on if there is a relationship between the proponent and the contractor, and maybe AMLAC can help find out if there was a financial transaction behind the insertion. But I think the most irregular thing here is bakit itinatago all these years yung budget per district data ng DPWH. At babanggitin ko lang din po na nung September, sinabi ni Sec Vince, isa sa publiko niya ito. Marami pong nagtatanong sa akin, bakit ko hindi ito isinapubliko nung September pa? Kasi sabi ni Sec Vince sa akin na isa sa publiko niya. Aaminin ko din po, marami sa Kongreso, nung sinabi ko gusto ko mag-privilege speech para isa publiko ito, nakiusap sa akin na wag isa publiko ito. Kaya mas gusto ko sana na si Sec Vince na lang ang magsasapubliko nito para hindi ako ang sisisihin ng ating mga kasamahan. Kahit hindi po ako kasama sa kwento, gusto ko lang lumabas ang istorya na to. At hindi po ito naitanong pa ng ibang mga media, pero naisapubliko na nga ito ng PCIJ noong Nobyembre. At meron po silang anonymous source para sa kanilang file. Meron pong ibang mga file sa kanilang istorya na galing sa ibang source. Pero ang ibang mga files ng PCIJ sa kanilang story noong November ay ako. Kaya kahit hindi po ako kasama sa story, okay lang sa akin. Gusto ko lang maisapubliko ang data ng budget per district. Noong November din, pinakita ko sa ICI at sa Ombudsman ang buong file na nakuha ko mula sa opisina ni Yusek Cabral at sinabi nila sa akin then, only then did they see it. And I'm thankful that this Tuesday, the DPWH finally turned it over to the Ombudsman after all of this happened. I think that I was the one who, in good faith, showed it to them in November, and yet I don't know why people are asking why I'm only talking about this now. I gave an interview in November also talking about this list, in fact, several interviews, and was saying that Yusek Cabral knows more about the DPWH budget than any other official, and that she should be made a state witness. At ikinalulungkot ko po na hindi ito na-actionan ng gobyerno. Pero for the record, nung November ko pa, sinasabi lahat ito. Nung buhay pa si Yusek Cabral.
Okay, thank you po.
Sir, ay, sorry, Marian, go ahead.
Sige, go ahead ate. Ikaw muna.
Sir, itatanong ko lang yung in-upload nyo na 2023 to 2026 data. Meron din bang irregular doon?
Again, yung irregular, bakit hindi ito inilalabas after all these years? Ang taong bayan ay may karapatan na malaman saan napunta yung 3.5 trillion pesos. Pero aaminin ko, maraming mga kasamahan ko sa Kongreso galit dahil ngayon nagtatanong ang mga taong bayan sa social media, ang laki pala ng budget, saan napunta? Maraming siguradong nakiusap din kay Sec Vince na wag isa publiko ito. Pero sinabi sa akin ni Sec Vince noong September na gusto niyang maisa publiko ito. Kaya ako gusto nung una na si Sec Vince na lang ang magsapubliko nito para hindi ka questionin pa ng ibang mga ahensya ng gobyerno katulad ni Yusek Claire Castro ang authenticity na ito. Pero si Sec Vince mismo ang nagbigay sa akin ng ibang mga files dito. Hindi nga si Yusek Cabral ang nagbigay ng ilang mga files nito sa akin. Si Sec Vince ang nagpabigay sa akin ng ilang mga files dito. Kaya, I'm sorry, but there's a reason, I suppose, na hindi pa nagpahayag si Secretary Vince sa media. I don't know why Yusek Claire is not coordinating with him. Yusek Claire Castro will make a fool of herself because Sec Vince will confirm the authenticity of the files that I've uploaded.
Sir, I am assuming that you saw the YouTube live of Yusek Claire Castro earlier today. Would you like to address her statements?
I already did that. I don't know why she hasn't updated us on whether she's talked to Sec Vince, but the fact that she keeps on making statements, casting doubt on these files, might mean she might not have even talked to Sec Vince yet. And the dozens of other people that have these same files, Yusek Claire Castro will make a fool of herself because Secretary Vince and many other people will confirm the authenticity of the file that I've uploaded.
Sir, Yusek Castro also said that but hindi na lang daw kayo mag-file ng case.
As I said a while ago, the budget data is not the full picture to file a case, but it should have been given to the ICI and the Ombudsman since September, as I discussed with Secretary Vince Dizon in September. I understood when I talked with Sec Vince in September that the files would be given to the ICI and Ombudsman. And I went to the ICI and Ombudsman in November and showed them the files. I think maybe they don't even know that I did that, but that was already published. It's not my fault if they don't know what I've already published. I showed them to the ICI and the Ombudsman already in November for them to make their case. And I hadn't done it in September because I thought DPWH already did it. So I did it in November, and I'm thankful that now the DPWH has turned it over to the Ombudsman. So I would actually appreciate it if Yusek Claire Castro will give an update correcting herself because Sec Vince said that he was going to do it. I learned in November it wasn't done, and I did it, and they did it now after the public called to do it. But I hope that they can correct themselves, given that I was saying all these things since November.
Sir, nako-confuse lang ako dun sa paki-clarify lang po yung earlier na sinabi nyo na walang irregular doon sa budget data and that, yun nga, hindi enough ito to file a case. So why is there a big deal
Okay.
on this data?
Kung maaari ko pong ipaliwanag. Kung meron 20 billion peso budget ang isang distrito sa isang taon o 60 billion peso budget sa 4 na taon, that's not enough. But it's worth asking. Kung ang ibang mga distrito ay may 10 billion at ang ibang mga distrito naman ay may 30, 40, 50, 60 billion, bakit? At saka, ano ba ang status ng 30, 40, 50, or 60 billion pesos na mga proyekto sa isang distrito? Kung substandard sila, baka nagkaroon ng maanumalyang transaksyon. Sino ba yung contractor? ano ang koneksyon ng proponent sa contractor. Yan ang investigative work na dapat gawin ng ICI at Ombudsman. Ako po ay mambabatas at isinisiwalat ko po ito in aid of legislation, lalong-lalo dahil ngayon ang budget season at matagal ko na pong pinapanukala na dapat ang budget allocation ay hindi based on discretion, kung hindi based on an equation like land area population. Tulad po ng ating national tax allotment. Dahil pag may discretion, ang aking pananaw ay yan ang nag-give rise sa bentahan ng budget na yun naman din po ay napatunayan. Pero I'll give one example of a maanomalyang budget allocation. Sa aking sariling distrito, ginawa ko na nga po ang investigasyon. Meron pong mga projects na naitukoy sa mga files ay allocable mula sa district representative. At ang mga contractors ng mga allocable projects, sila ang malapit sa dating representante ng aking distrito. Ang iba ay kanyang mga kinakapatid o inaanak. At ang outside allocable naman sa aking distrito, kabilang po doon ang mga proyekto na nasa leadership list ni Yusek Cabral. At ang iba naman ay nasa Senti 20 list ni Yusek Cabral. At yun yung sinabi ko nung Nobyembre pa, na ayon sa mga listahan ni Yusek Cabral, tila na may pre-ordering ng mga proyekto sa DPWH-NEP. So, I gave an example kasi alam ko sa sarili kong distrito, may 6 na proyekto si Congressman Edwin Garjola. 2 sa mga proyektong ito ay nasa leadership. At paumanhin na lang po kung sino man si leadership. Pero gusto ko lang malaman sana bakit si leadership nagbigay ng 280 million pesos na pondo para sa 2 road projects sa Calatagan, Batangas. Alam ko po na may 2 road projects na ito. Marami nang pag-uusap sa Calatagan, Batangas kanino ang road projects na to. At sa listahan ni Yusek Cabral, nakapangalan nga ito kay leadership. At meron din 4 na road projects sa Tuy, Batangas na kasama sa listahan ni Yusek Cabral sa Senti 20. At alam ko din po na ang 4 na road projects na ito ay kay Congressman Edwin Garjola kasi siya mismo ay kumausap sa akin tungkol sa mga proyektong ito. At doon ko nakita na may pre-ordering kasi nung August 2024 pa ang listahang ito, tapos na-award sa mga kumpanyang konektado kay Congressman Edwin Garjola sa 2025, which gives rise for the ICI and the Ombudsman to investigate potential bid rigging for these 2 projects in the 1st District Engineering Office of Batangas. So, I'm using that as an example for your general question, what are the anomalies in this list? It is the basis for the ICI and the Ombudsman to connect proponents to projects and investigate if there are transactions that result in the budget insertion turning into a contract awarded to a contractor.
Sir, did these things also happen in the 2026 budget?
Yes.
As Vice Chair of the House Committee on Appropriations, what did you do about this?
By the way, yung sinasabi kong did these things happen in the 2026 budget insertions that are being hidden from the public, which I will say a bit more about later, and the projects have not yet been bid. Kaya baka maraming mga bid rigging ay masa-stop pa kung ma-bring to public attention ang practice na ito. Pero may isisiwalat pa ako mamaya tungkol sa mga budget insertions sa 2026.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying, in my own district, we're making sure walang lutuan ng bidding sa DPWH simula ngayon. Pero based on all the data that I've seen and all of the testimonies of people in the 1st District of Batangas, halos lahat ng mga bids ng DPWH sa aking distrito ay luto. At yun po ay tugma sa sinabi ni former Undersecretary Roberto Bernardo, at bahala na lang po kung gustong sabihin ng iba na iniimbento ko lang ito, na luto ang karamihan ng mga bidding sa DPWH, pero Yan po ang aking masasabi ayon sa aking karanasan sa unang distrito ng Batangas.
Yes, sir. I reiterate my question na as Vice Chair of the House Committee on Appropriations, what did you do about this?
Nagrereklamo po ako bakit hindi natin una isinasa publiko ang datos ng bawat distrito. Kaya nga ibinigay sa akin ang datos na ito. So ako po ay sinserong nagpapasalamat kay Sec Vince kasi noon hindi ito ibinibigay. Nung pumasok lang si Sec Vince, ibinigay sa akin ang datos na ito. Pero sana hindi lang ibigay sa akin, sana maisa publiko. Para makita ng ibang mga congressman din, kasi hindi nga buong kongreso may kopya nito. Pag makita ng ibang mga congressman ito, actually, favorable sa kanila. Makita nila all these years pala, mas maliit ang budget nila kaysa sa ibang mga distrito na mas maliit sa distrito nila. Magkakaroon talaga ng pagbabago sa sistema ng alokasyon ng budget basta may transparency kung ano ang nakukuhang budget ng bawat distrito. So my proposal is that the budget be allocated on an equation of land area and population. You can add other factors too if you want. It doesn't, my point is not what the equation should be. My point is that there should be an equation so that there is no discretion in selling of budgets. So that's what I've been advocating in Congress all this time. And I think that it has been taken into account to some extent, but more so the decrease in the CMPD and the DUPA was one progress that was achieved over the past few months, as you all know. I'm only responding to your question that as Vice Chair of APRO, that's one thing that I hope all of us in Congress can be proud of na may konting progress naman po. Pero until we're transparent on the budget allocations, I think that there's low-hanging fruit that we can still achieve, which is why I wanted all of this to come out before the ratification of the BICAM.
Thank you, sir.
Sir? Marian from TV5. So sir, what's clear po is there's nothing irregular dun po sa mga pinost nyo, dun po sa dokumento, Cabral Files. What you're just pointing out is yung halaga po ng prioritization, ano? Yung sinasabi nyo po per district, bakit may malaki, bakit malaki yung pondo na pupunta sa kanila kahit maliit lang yung populasyon, and so on. And that's why you are lobbying.
Sigahan after the resignation. And until now, wala rin naman.
Sorry, I think there's a echo.
Yeah. That's why you're lobbying, and yun po yung pinush nyo nung kayo vice chair during the budget deliberations na dapat may equation, ano? There should be an equation. We get that. So walang irregular. What's irregular po talaga, highly irregular, is what you were saying during our last press con na meron po kayong kopya nung BICAM insertions nung 2025. And that's what what we've been asking for po, na sana isa publiko nyo na rin po. And what's stopping you sa
Okay.
paglalabas po nito?
Okay, several responses po. I don't want to be quoted as saying that there's nothing irregular about this budget file, but rather I want to invite the DPWH to comment and let people also draw their own conclusions. But if you ask my personal opinion, the inequitable distribution of budgets disregarding population and the needs of the people is irregular, especially when you see that there are small districts that have many times more the budgets of big districts like mine in Batangas and others in the country. I think it's highly irregular that the DPWH cannot explain why there are some districts that have 5 to 10 times the budget per capita of other districts, and why there's a correlation na nagkakataon yung distrito na may malaking budget ay distrito na maraming mga contractor. That in itself, in my opinion, is highly irregular. But the more irregular thing is when more details on the proponents come out. And you rightly point out that there's still more that I have yet to share on the proponents of the projects. If I can kindly note, first, as you can see, I'm posting something new every day. So I'm also working through the holidays to try and bring as much out as fast as we can. But that, so there will be still more posted. But the allocable budget in itself is also irregular because the DPWH has been publicly stating that the NEP are projects of the DPWH and not proposed by congressmen. We were told not to use the word allocable during congressional budget hearings. Yusek Cabral had introduced that term to the public, and Secretary Manny Bonoan introduced the term leadership fund to the public. And apart from them, and I think Yusek Bernardo also mentioned allocables in his testimonies, the incumbent officials of the DPWH and in our hearings in Congress were all told, we're all refraining from using the word allocable. And we're all denying that congressmen have a say in the budgets in their districts in the DPWH budget. And are also denying that projects are submitted to be inserted into the NEP. And in the second part of this press con, I'm going to share some proof that projects are inserted in the NEP.
Projects are inserted in the NEP.
What's irregular is that projects are inserted into the NEP and that this is being denied when it is widely documented. And you can just ask other members of Congress and even their staff, this is what we do while the NEP is being prepared.
Yeah, I think that's proposals po ang tawag doon, not
No.
insertions, because
Let me show you the proof later. What's irregular is that they deny it. I will show it later.
anyway, sir, so how about the budget BICAM, yung hinihingi po namin?
I will show something later in this.
Sir, will that be the BICAM budget na po noong 2025?
There's still a lot more to show po. But again, the link of the proponent to the contractor is what the ICI and the ombudsman will do when they have the files, which the DPWH already gave to them. And that's where you see the more glaring irregularities. But in my opinion, the fact that the DPWH can't explain how 3.5 trillion pesos was allocated based on a formula they claim they don't understand is irregular. The people deserve to know how that 3.5 trillion pesos was allocated. By the way, I still haven't also touched on how the 214 billion pesos of unprogrammed appropriations was allocated to DPWH projects, because those projects are supposedly priority projects. And I think you will see when we also get to that, which we don't have time for today, that even the selection of the so-called priority projects for the 214 billion pesos of unprogrammed appropriations is also irregular. So please don't interpret what I'm saying as that there's nothing irregular. I'm just inviting others to comment first. But in my opinion, the whole budget allocation of DPWH is irregular, especially because the new DPWH secretary says that he does not understand Yusek Cabral's system of allocables, and yet this is still the basis for the 2026 budget.
Marian, pwedeng sisingit lang po.
Sige, okay lang kasi yung power of the purse, ayoko nang banggitin ko na bahala.
Sir, tanong ko lang, kasi ang dami na ring discussions eh. First, do you mean to say na yung budget data na nirelease nyo po is not enough to merit a case? Not necessarily not irregular, but not enough to merit a case? Yun po ba yun?
First of all, para malinaw, but I think you understand din naman, I have not yet uploaded everything. So I'm uploading something more every day. When you see the proponent of a project, that is the basis for a closer legal study. But by the way, I'm not the ombudsman. I'm a legislator, and in aid of legislation, I just want the data published so that people can ask the question, why does a Batangueño have 1/5 the budget per capita as someone in another province? So as a member of the Appropriations Committee, as a representative of my district, that to me is irregular. But the legal side of things, the ICI and the Ombudsman told me, I am citing them here, that the list of proponents on the projects in the NEP will be very useful for their investigations, because there are 421, they said, ghost projects, and they don't even know who are the proponents of those ghost projects. That's why I'm sorry, but it's a big decision to publish the list of proponents of projects, because this might help the ICI and Ombudsman build cases against some of my colleagues here in the House.
Sir, clarify ko na lang din. Yung allocables ba per se, illegal ba siya or irregular ba siya? Or is it more...
Yung irregular, dalawa. Una, hindi maipaliwanag bakit ang ilan napakalaki at at ang ilan napakaliit. And then may mga observations ko tulad ng kung saan yung mga distrito na malaki, nagkataon maraming contractor. So yun sa akin yung irregular. Pangalawa, the fact na dinideny na may allocable. Sinasabi ng ating bagong DPW Secretary, whom I don't blame kasi mahirap talaga na ma-discuss to dahil ang daming mga nakikinabang na sila din ang nag-approve ng budget. Sinabi niya, hindi niya alam ano yung allocable na ito. Pero ito nga yung basehan ng ating 2026 budget pa. Yung irregular sa akin din, yung dinideny nila na may ganitong sistema. At na ayaw man lang isa publiko ang datos na ito. Kaya nung nakuha ko ito nung Setyembre, hinihintay ko ang DPWH magsa publiko nito. At nung hindi nila isinapubliko, para sa mga nagtatanong bakit ngayon ko lang to ginagawa, ibinigay ko yung meron ako sa PCIJ. Ako yung source sa ilang mga ginamit nila sa kanilang file kahit na hindi sa akin ma-cite nung Nobyembre. Tapos, ngayon, sarili kong Facebook page din ang nag-upload. So, to summarize, dalawang bagay ang irregular. Yung hindi maipaliwanag bakit ang ilan malaki, ang ilan maliit ang budget na walang correlation sa population or land area or other reasonable metrics, at the fact na dinedeny may ganitong sistema at itinatago ang datos sa publiko. But yung mas irregular, pag makikita natin ang mga line-by-line details on sino ang proponent at ang connection ng bawat isa sa contractor, na sinabi ng ICI at Ombudsman, makakatulong sa kanilang mga hinahandang mga kaso ngayon.
Sir, ano na lang sir, I'll play devil's advocate na lang din. Kasi baka po meron, yun nga, may sumisita na po sa inyo na bakit ngayon lang nire-release. Ang naiisip ko kasi sir, baka may magsabi na kung ibang congressman yan, sige, name drop ko na, kunyari, Makabayan Black ang nakakuha ng dokumento. Walang, ano sir, walang condition eh. I-release na nila kasi wala silang pakialam sa DPWH eh. So sir, parang, are you also parang naninimbang po kayo? Kasi baka nga mahirapan yung trabaho nyo sa Kongreso kapag talagang inaway po kayo ng ibang mga congressman.
Pwede kong bagitin ito ngayon?
Sige po sir, sige po.
Noong October 16, nag-press briefing ako tungkol sa mga contractor appointees ng DPWH na ako ay nagpapasalamat. A few weeks ago, inamin ni Secretary Vince Dizon at ang DPWH na tama ako. Dalawa ng mga appointees ng bagong liderato ng DPWH ay mismong contractor ng DPWH. At yung isa na nagpasok sa kanila na nag-resign una na si Yusek Ari Perez ay konektado kay Congressman Edwin Garjola at sinubukang ilapit si Congressman Garjola kay Sec Vince para makakuha ng kontrata. Anyway, yun po ang backstory. When I was giving that press briefing, may tumawag sa akin na mataas na opisyal ng DPWH on behalf of Sec Vince Dizon. At ang pinag-usapan sa telepono ay ang budget ng distrito ko. Ayoko naman na maapektuhan ang budget ng distrito ko dahil sa ginagawa ko ngayon. Pero ako po ay nagtitiwala na dahil tama naman na malaman ng publiko ang budget ng bawat distrito. The fact na tinawagan ako tungkol sa budget ng distrito ko sa gitna ng ating press con alone is proof na ang budget ay ina-allocate din for purposes other than the need of the districts. At minsan, ito nga din ay ginagamit bilang leverage over members of Congress. Pero nagtitiwala po ako na hindi maapektuhan ang budget ng distrito ko dahil sa ginawa ko ngayon.
Okay sir, thank you po.
Pero yan pong dahilan na pinatawag ako noong October 16 sa gitna ng press briefing para ipaalala sa akin ang budget ng distrito ko. But despite that, nagbigay ako ng file sa PCIJ at nilabas nila noong Nobyembre.
Sir, sorry, kakapasok ko lang po. Merong statement po si Yusek Claire Castro. Ang sabi niya, babasahin ko po sir ha. Sabi niya, why should this representation prove the alleged Cabral's files he claims to possess? He has started bragging about them, so it is his responsibility to prove their authenticity. Why should he shift his responsibility to others? We are not even aware if what he is in possession of are mere altered or fabricated documents.
Yes, I think that's from her vlog an hour ago, and I already responded to that earlier in this, which is, I'm surprised that she hasn't talked to Sec Vince based on her statements, because Yusek Claire Castro will make a fool of herself, because Secretary Vince and many others will confirm the authenticity of the files that I uploaded.
Copy sir. Thank you po.
Sir, you mentioned about the call last October during the press call. We were there. Narinig din po namin kung ano yung mga sinasabi nyo. And ang dating po while you were talking to that person from the high official ng DPWH, it's like parang you were challenging him about
No,
yung
yun
coming
yung-
about. This was one of your transcript. I really don't know,
Yes.
quote, I really don't know who's a contractor in your team, but if you can ask them and come clean to the public, then
Yes.
that would, I think, be a sign that there is real change now in DPWH. And then yet now you were saying na meron bang parang nangiipit po sa inyo? May nanggigipit po ba sa inyo tungkol sa budget ninyo pala that time? Kasi that was not the tone that we
Please.
saw during the press con. Thank you.
Excuse me, do you have the rest of the transcript? Because you can read the rest of what I said. I was talking about sana hindi lang distrito ko, sana sa buong bansa. Did you hear that?
So we asked you about what did
Sorry.
he say,
Sorry.
and then ang sinabi nyo lang was,
Excuse
Okay.
me, can you read the other part of my statement where I talk about sana hindi lang sa distrito ko, pero sa
so
buong bansa?
what do you mean by that, sir? Hindi na po kayo nag-elaborate. Yun lang po
Sorry.
yung sinabi nyo.
But do you have
What
the
was that
transcript?
about?
Do you have the
I can clearly remember what you said, but you did not elaborate on that. So
Let
what
me
is it
elaborate
about?
now.
So ngayon po ba sinasabi nyo, ginigipit pala kayo during that time?
Let me elaborate. The reason why I said in my response, sana hindi lang sa distrito ko, kung hindi sa buong bansa, was because ang sinabi sa akin sa telepono, that they will, I'm just trying to recall the exact words, but if I could just paraphrase, that they will grant extra budget for my district. That's what was being offered on the phone. And I said, I don't want it just for my district. I want the DPWH budget to be fixed for the whole country. I was being offered extra budget on that phone call in the middle of the press con. And I'll say,
Kindly elaborate, sir.
okay. In the same breath of talking about my allegations against the new leadership in the DPWH, I was being offered extra budget. In the same breath that I was questioning the DPWH budget, I was being offered extra budget. I think that's the more connected thing.
Budget po saan? Ano pong detalye dito, sir? Kindly please elaborate us. Thank you.
I'm asking for extra budget for classrooms in the first district of Batangas. And on the phone, I was told, we will give you extra budget for your district. If you read between the lines, that means you don't question our budget and we'll give you your budget. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, so you were asking for additional budget sana for classrooms po sa inyong distrito.
Let me explain. My argument from the beginning, also publicly stated, is that there should be logic behind the budget allocation, and the current system disadvantages certain regions. NCR has the lowest, but there could be arguments for and against that. And then Region 4A is the second lowest after NCR. And there are many districts in Region 4A that are much like the rest of the country, and so should not be treated like urban districts, like mine, the most rural district in Batangas. And yet we have a very low budget per capita. That's why I've been arguing we should redo the whole DPWH budget system so that districts like mine can get additional budget. Okay, so if you look then at what my proposal is, dagdagan ang budget ng distrito ko at ng ibang mga distrito na disadvantage sa current system sa buong bansa, at tinawagan ako para sabihin yung para sa distrito ko ibibigay nila. Huwag ko lang guluhin yung DPWH budget system sa buong bansa.
And then what did you do po, sir? Did you give in? Isn't that a bribe?
Exactly, and that's why tuloy-tuloy akong nagka-question pa sa DPWH budget system sa buong bansa. At yung matatamaan dito, yung mga lugar na maraming parking ng mga contractors. Because big parts of this DPWH budget have been going to places that are not even highly populated. But because that's where the contractors have seen that they can have the most lucrative projects. And instead, if this system is applied, then it will instead go to districts or areas even that need them and not necessarily where the contractors can make the biggest profit. So the fact that I am continuing to question the DPWH budget system is me showing na hindi ako mabibili ng anumang budget.
Okay, so hindi po nadagdagan yung budget niyo para sa classroom?
Hindi, nadagdagan. Ako po ay nagpapasalamat. Dahil yun po ay para sa mga mamamayan ng aking distrito. Kaya ko sinasabi dapat bawasan ito, bawasan yan para magkaroon ng additional fiscal space para madagdagan ang mga budgets na matagal nang hindi ina-allocate. Matagal ko nang sinasabi, the reason we have a classroom shortage is because there is lower kickbacks in classrooms.
Sir, nadagdagan, I have to cut you, sorry. Nadagdagan pala yung budget niyo for classroom. So, paano po yung naging compromise? Kaya po ba hindi niyo po nailabas agad itong sinasabi niyo pong DPWH budget?
Hindi, kasi kung mapansin nyo, hindi ko tinigilan ng DPWH linggo-linggo. Kaya ako po ay nagpapasalamat na kahit na tuloy-tuloy akong nagque-question sa DPWH, hindi so far binawasan ang budget ng aking distrito.
Pero
But
nadadag.
if anyone will tell me that I've gone easy on DPWH, then actually I'm thankful because I'd like DPWH to appreciate na naging mabait ako sa kanila. Pero I think others can say, oh, it's good actually that DPWH is still is not slashing Leandro's budget despite him questioning the whole budget.
So, sir, magkano na po yung naidagdag in total na ng budget for your classrooms, no? Sa inyong distrito.
Yeah, okay, thanks. I'll take this opportunity to disclose. I can't give a precise number because I was planning to actually publish the GAA of my district once it's approved. But the amendments that I'm making for the DPWH budget, by the way, I also posted this on Facebook. The price of the roads in my district I reduced, and I also canceled some roads by 616 million pesos. Yung sinasabi ng DPWH na hindi magawa, in-apply ko yung adjusted prices na hindi ginawa sa buong bansa sa roads ng aking distrito. May savings ng 616 million pesos. So, mula sa savings ng binawasan ng mga roads, inilipat sa classrooms. Kaya may karagdagang ding budget para sa classroom sa aking distrito. By the way, I haven't even gotten to my main point of my press con yet. This might take a very long time. But do you have any more questions, Marian?
Okay na ka, sir. Thank you.
Whatever I've said so far is, I think, less interesting than what I'm gonna say after. Any more questions?
Sure, okay na po. Meron pa po kasi
Okay.
kami rin next press con.
Okay. So, um, just to wrap up on the Cabral DPWH documents. As I said, Yusek Claire Castro will make a fool of herself after she confirms the authenticity of the documents with Secretary Vince and many other people. And what is irregular is that it is so unequal and cannot be explained, and yet is still the basis of the budget, and that many people have asked this not to be released, and that I can really say it's being hidden from the public, and the public deserves to know where the budget is going. Now, having said that, what I wanted to emphasize is the inaccurate statements, or perhaps more bluntly put, lies, in regards to how the DPWH NEP is done. Because actually, a lot of people say, oh, there's nothing irregular about congressmen submitting projects to the DPWH budget. But I would just like to bring attention to the fact that it is denied that congressmen submit projects to the DPWH budget. Kaya nga po si Senator Ping Lacson ay nagbunyag na si Yusek Cabral ay nag-alok ng 500M insertion sa NEP, di ba? Dahil dapat galing lang sa DPWH ito ayon sa mga pahayag ng DPWH. Please allow me to play a few clips from the DPWH budget hearings. Is YouTube now being shown on my screen? Secretary, if there are any projects that are nominated. Sorry, can someone say if YouTube is now being shown on my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, I believe nilabas po ni si Bryce Hernandez po. No, because of that, just please indulge my curiosity. May I ask the good secretary if there were any projects that were nominated by any senator, and if yes, could we be provided a detailed report on this?
According to our staff po, wala po silang alam na mayroong ganong mga proyekto.
Okay, Mr. Chair, that's very
So, according to the staff, wala silang alam na may mga proyekto na ninonominate. Ito naman po, muli sa plenary discussions on the DPWH budget.
DPWH mismo ang nag-submit nito ay for now hindi mo matatawag na congressional insertion, tama? Oo. Lahat po 'yan ay the president's budget, tama po.
Tama, Madam Speaker,
Okay.
hindi ito galing sa congressional
Okay.
mga congressman, kung hindi ito galing sa district office at mga
Okay.
regional offices ng Department of Public Works
Okay.
and Highways na napaloob sa RBPs.
Hindi galing sa congressman, galing sa DPWH. Hindi man lang sinabi, galing sa DPWH with the input ng congressman. Hindi galing sa congressman.
Sige, kaya nga ito po yung in other words, this is an amended NEP, no? Kaya usually sa DBM terminology, nababasa ko po, the NEP is the president's budget. Tama po?
Yes, of course,
Tama.
led by President's budget.
Okay. Alright, so dito na po tayo sa susunod na issue, yung usapin po ng unprog.
Okay. So, hindi daw galing sa congressman. If you will allow me to go into the second part of my presentation today, because I take exception to the statement that ako po ay nagsinungaling na may insertion si Congressman Terry Redon at ang Bicol Saro party list. And I'm also gonna play the relevant interviews when I made that claim as well to prove that even what I said in that interview is accurate. But even during our recent press briefing in the House, nakasingit na rin po ang discussion kung ang mga congressman ba ay nagsasubmit ng mga proyekto. Ang sinasabi ng iba, normal lang yan sa GAB. Pero ang mga congressman ay nagsasubmit ng mga proyekto hindi lang sa GAB, kung hindi sa NEP. Muli, parang normal lang naman na may submission sa NEP. Pero it's denied. And I just want to put it on the record that, again, yung sinabi ni Senator Lacson na inalok kay SP Soto na 500M, yun ay ginawa nga informally. And again, it was treated as a surprise in the Senate. But in the House, it is widely documented and should not be denied. And before the approval of the 2026 budget, I just want to put on record, it is a lie to say na hindi galing sa congressman ang ibang mga proyekto sa NEP at walang mga ninonominate ang mga congressman. If you will allow me to just go to the next slide. I really beg pardon to my colleagues, but because of the statements of other members of Congress disputing that projects are submitted by congressmen into the NEP, and also in contradiction to the statements that were given on the two instances that I played from the YouTube video of the House, where there's a denial that congressmen submit projects into the NEP. This is a Viber group chat, June 10, before the NEP was submitted. Good afternoon, Chiefs. Please be reminded of the submission of hard and soft projects for fiscal year 2026. Official email address for submission of regular BIP. appropriationscommittee.committee@house.gov.ph. 150M infra for district rep, 160M infra for party list rep, 30M soft for district and party list rep. Please email in Excel file and with attached e-signature. And on the right are the forms that are filled up. To a normal person, this is totally expected that people insert projects into the NEP. But, as I played a while ago, the claim is that hindi nagsasubmit ang congressman sa NEP. Kaya, gusto ko lang pong linawin, hindi ako sinungaling. Ang magsasabi na ang congressman ay hindi nag-i-insert ng project sa NEP pa lang bago pa ang GAB ang nagsisinungaling. Aminin na natin ang widely documented fact na bawat congressman ay pwedeng mag-insert ng 150 million pesos sa NEP. Ito po ay ibinibigay natin sa June at kasama sa lumalabas na NEP sa July. Ako po mismo ay nag-submit. Lumabas ang mga multipurpose buildings na para sa mga eskwelahan sa aking distrito. Ang mga ibang congressman, for example na party list, ay nagsusulat. Minsan hindi nagsusulat. Pero nagsasubmit. At sa sarili kong distrito, meron din mga projects na lumabas sa NEP na in-insert ng ibang mga party list. Kasi ang mga party list minsan nga ay nagsusulat. Kaya alam kong tunay na ginawa ito, hindi lang sa iilan sa amin, kung hindi pati sa mga party list, kasi may mga party list din na nagsulat sa akin na ito po ang sinabit namin sa DPWH in June at yun ay lumabas at nasa NEP ng unang distrito ng Batangas. At base dito, pwede nating sabihin may at least 150 million pesos DPWH budget insertion para sa bawat congressman. At hindi lang po para sa mga district representatives. not saying that hindi po dapat ito. Gusto ko lang pong linawin ang facts. Every party list representative can submit projects into the NEP. There are some maybe that don't. And if I'm not mistaken, if you're not part of the party list coalition, maybe you're not given because the allocations are submitted to the parties and it's the parties that submit them to the DPWH for the preparation of the NEP. But because may isang kasamahan ko sa Kongreso na nagsabi na nagsinungaling ako at may iba pang mga nagsabi na hindi sa GAB naman lumalabas, hindi sa NEP. I just want to set the record straight. According to this, hindi lang 150. Dagdag pala para sa party list. May 160 million pesos infra for party list rep na pwedeng ipasok sa DPWH NEP. May 160 million pesos infra per party list representative na pwedeng ipasok sa DPWH NEP. Does anyone have questions about this? Now, the relevance of this is, again, I would like to give credit to Congressman Toby Chanco for calling on the House to reveal the projects proposed by party list representatives. Again, there's nothing wrong with allowing party list representatives to propose projects, but why are we hiding them? And while we're at it, even the district representatives, because we know there's a 400 billion allocable budget out of the 1 trillion 2025 DPWH budget. And it's good to know what of that 1 trillion is from the district representative, what is from other proponents. And what the DPWH has said is they don't know who are some of the proponents. If I can play this video.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Nakikinig po sa atin ang mga kasama natin sa majority, no? Kaya last na po ito, promise. Okay. Ano po ba? Ito ang tanong ngayon. No, wala pong line item, lump sum ang unprogrammed appropriations. There was 61 billion in 2023 and 153 billion in 2024, no? Paano, ano po ang proseso na para mapondohan yung ang infrastructure projects from unprogrammed appropriations?
Well, coming from the district, magsasubmit yung mga district engineering offices at saka regional offices ng mga request for funding under and program.
Okay.
Vetted ito ng planning service ng Department of Public Works and Highways, and then it will be submitted to DBM. DBM for the release of fund. Pero halos hindi lahat ng requested nilang or submitted nilang listing ay mapunduhan. It will depend upon the availability of course of fund.
Okay. Ayon po sa tama po ba ang gumagabay po sa availment of unprogrammed appropriations ay yun po mismong special provisions ng unprogrammed appropriations sa GAA. Tama po. So ang sinusunod po natin dito, release of funds, availment of the unprogrammed appropriations. Release of funds shall be subject to the submission of a special budget request. So, sino po ang nagsasubmit ng special budget request?
Ang Department of Public Works and Highways po ang mag-submit ng special budget request.
So, yung secretary po ng DPWH.
Yes, yung secretary ng...
So, kaya po, kanina sabi nyo, hindi alam ng DPWH kung ano yung mga proyekto sa unprogrammed. Eh, alam po kasi ng...
Oh, wait, sorry. My apologies, I split 105. Pero useful din yung exchange na yun.
Tanong po sa ating sponsor ay sa inyong sistema ng tracking,
Ito po.
alam nyo ba kung sino ang proponent no? At maaari bang isama ito sa transparency? No?
I second the motion of Congressman Antonio Tino. Question, alam nyo ba kung sino ang proponent at maaari ba itong isama sa sistema ng transparency?
Talaga malinaw at wala nang intriga. Kung ikaw ay nag-insert man, ikaw ang proponent, malinaw ang ownership kumbaga or accountability dun sa proyekto na yon.
Definitely hindi alam, Madam Speaker, ng DPWH dahil after NEP na ho yan. So,
Definitely hindi alam ng DPWH sino ang proponent kasi after NEP na lang ang mga proponent. Definitely hindi alam ng DPWH.
dahil tapos na ang NEP, ang alam lang nilang mga projects ay yung nakasaad sa NEP. Kasi sila ang gumawa ng NEP.
Sila ang gumawa ng
Hindi
NEP.
po yata tama yung sagot na yon. Kasi po ngayon, last na po dahil nakatingin po sa atin ang ang mga kasama natin sa majority, no? Kaya last na po ito, promise. Okay. Ano po ba? Ito ang tanong ngayon. No, wala pong line item, lump sum ang unprogrammed appropriations. There was 61 billion in 2023 and 153 billion in 2024. No? Paano? Ano po ang proseso na para mapondohan yung
Sorry, so that was already on the unprogrammed appropriations. But the key point from Antonio Tino's interpellation of the DPWH budget is he asked, alam ba ng DPWH ang mga proponents? Ang sagot, hindi kasi sagab lang yung proponent, wala sa NEP. So there's two falsehoods there, na yung proponent lang ay nasagab at wala daw sa NEP, and pangalawa, na hindi nila alam. I'm sorry that the public is impatiently waiting for more informations to be released on the proponents in the NEP. But I want to give the DPWH and Yusek Claire Castro the chance to set a record straight before I prove that they have been lying. For them to say that there are no proponents in the NEP and they don't know who are the proponents in the NEP is a lie. I'm saying that on the record. And I don't want the 2026 budget to be ratified without setting the record straight that there are budget insertions in the NEP and that the DPWH knows who are the proponents, and if they don't want to release the proponents, they should explain why. And one data point is the list of Yusek Cabral, but the other data point is this group chat, and there are similar communications like this across the House of Representatives where 150M infra for district rep and 160M infra for party list rep is submitted. And lumalabas ang mga proposals na ito hindi sa GAB kung hindi sa NEP. At kung may ganitong datos ang House at ang DPWH, bakit hindi inilalabas kung ano yung 150 ng bawat miyembro? Ako yung 150 ko ilalabas ko. In fact, pinapost ko naman sa Facebook lahat ng amendment ko para sa mga classroom, multipurpose building, pati water system. Na ito po ang pangangailangan ng aking mga kadistrito. Ang gusto nga nila, mga proyektong ito, kaya binawasan ko pa ang roads, pati yung presyo ng mga roads sa aking distrito para madagdagan ang classroom and multipurpose building budget para sa aking distrito. Hindi ko tinatago. At may dokumento sa House na itong mga classrooms at multipurpose buildings ang aking request. Ang House, pati ang DPWH ay may datos sa request ng bawat isa. At kung ano man ang lumalabas sa NEP na nanggaling sa kanila. Kaya ang punto ko lang po, huwag natin i-deny na may mga projects sa NEP na sinubmit ng mga congressman at kung itinatago natin, sana ipaliwanag bakit natin itinatago. Kasi karamihan naman ng mga proposals sa 150 or 160 na ito ay ginagamit sa mga magagandang, let's say, barangay requests. Yung mga maliliit na barangay projects, yung mga hindi madaling pagkakitaan kumpara sa mga 150 million peso road or flood control project. Pero ang isiniwalat ko po ay ang Bicol Saro Party List Sa 2025 ay may insertion sa NEP na dalawang 75 million, total 150 million peso road project sa Pamplona at Pasacao, Camarines Sur na parehong na-award sa Bicol Gold Rock at 2% of the approved budget for contract na ang kumpanyang yun ay siya din ang contractor sa mahigit 40 billion pesos in projects in Bicol and also happens to be the top contractor in my district. Halimbawa lang po yun. Pero gusto kong malaman ng publiko sana ano yung 150M na sinabit ng bawat miyembro ng Kongreso. Kung gusto ng DPWH maging transparent tayo sa 2026 budget, ilabas lang nila. Tama, wag yung cherry pick. Ilabas na lang yung sinabit ng mga projects ng bawat miyembro. They have this data, they can submit it today. If they do not submit it today, I would like them to at least confirm that the statements that there is no such data and there are no such submissions is a lie. And I'm sorry if there are other members of Congress who don't want this disclosed, but there is 150 million at least for every member of Congress if they wish to submit. Others maybe don't because they're not in a party or they don't even want to submit. But there is this allocation for every member of Congress. Now, on the subject of allocations for every member of Congress, I would like also to put on the record that there are systems of allocables outside the DPWH, that there are allocables in maybe every agency of government, depending on the efforts of the member of Congress or of government. And some of this is inserted in the NEP. You can see here, there's 30M soft for district and party list rep. Yan po ay MAIP and AIX, tupad, at iba pa. Ako po ay nag-request din ng AIX at MAIP para sa aking distrito. Kasi may mga ganitong alokasyon, kawawa naman ang mga kadistrito natin kung hindi natin ginagamit. Pero, ang hinihiling ko, wag nating itago na may ganitong sistema of hard and soft pork per congressman. At bilang congressman, gusto kong malaman magkano ang alokasyon ng bawat isa. Kasi if I can then transition to outside DPWH, ang isiniwalat po natin, meron 401 billion peso taon-taong allocable DPWH budget ng mga district congressman. Kung may 401 billion peso DPWH allocable, meron maaaring halos ganyang kalaki din na allocable sa iba-ibang mga ahensya ng gobyerno. At some of this is in the NEP. Meron ditong 30 million peso soft. Sa NEP ito pumasok. Pero meron din lumalabas sa GAB. And the second thing I would like to introduce today is that the allocations in the GAB are given during the budget process. And I'm sorry to share this. Can you see my PowerPoint slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Paumanhin po sa aking mga kasamahan sa Kongreso. Pero let me just narrate the following facts which I can also submit in a sworn affidavit. On September 30, I received this Viber message. Good morning po, VC Leandro Leviste. This is Attorney Jolina from the office of Chair Mika Swansing. May I call po? So may topic na ayaw niyang isulat. And in this phone call that we had, she said, can we meet in the lounge? So that day, I met Attorney Jolina in the lounge. And she showed me this file in the bottom. This file in the bottom was printed out and it says here DOH MAIP, DOLE Tupad, GIP, DSWD AIX, DAFMR, others, DA, DepEd, NIA, Other Soft, and DPWH with the amounts, and it totals 151 million pesos. And the most important thing I think is the manner in which this was presented to me, that it was not put in writing what the purpose for the meeting was, and that I was asked to discuss this highly confidential matter in the lounge, and the following thing that Attorney Jolina told me that I can put in a sworn affidavit. She said, Kong, this is your incentive. I would like to know why she said, this is your incentive. This was when the 2026 budget was being finalized. Sorry, hindi pala naka-project yung PowerPoint. Okay. Sorry, if I can reread this. Here's the Viber of Attorney Jolina. September 30, 2025. Good morning po, VC Leandro Leviste. This is Attorney Jolina from the office of Chair Mika Swansing. May I call po? And she said, can we meet in the lounge? And didn't say precisely for what. And she showed me this printout listing MAIP, TUPAD, AX, FMR, DA, DepEd, NIA, other soft DPWH, totaling 151 million pesos, with a form on the right side of what I wanted to avail of. And she said, this is your incentive. So again, I want to ask, what did she mean by this is your incentive? And why is this being given to members of Congress right before the October approval of the 2026 budget? Is it my incentive to vote for the budget? Because the assistance for my constituents is conditional on my approving the budget in toto? And out of transparency, I want to know how this is being allocated. And what is the incentive of every member of Congress? Because, please excuse that a lot of information circulates in the House, but on the top right is the incentive of another member of Congress, 250 million. And you can see the MAIP, TUPAD, AX, FMR, others, and DPWH. And maybe there are others that have bigger amounts. I'm not complaining that our amounts differ. But I think the public deserves to know what is the system of incentives. Now, I'll say the reason why the message to me was sent was VC Leandro Leviste. This is my incentive also, given my position as a vice chair of APRO. By the way, there are other benefits being given to vice chairs of APRO. And there are other incentives being given to people who are maybe a senior member of Congress. Among the vice chairs of APRO, it's not all the same incentive. And because this is public money, I want to know what is the total allocation of every member of Congress for MAIP, TUPAD, AX, FMR, classrooms, and other allocables. Before, there was no discussion on the allocables in the DPWH budget. Now, there is. But there should also be disclosure on the allocation of MAIP, TUPAD, AX, FMR. There's even a new presidential assistance for farmers and fisherfolk, where 10 billion pesos will be given for around 1.4 million farmers at 7,000 pesos each. I want to know how much of that's going to be allocated to each district. And is it based on need? Or is it based on what Attorney Jolina told me, as I will put in a sworn statement, that this is my incentive? Secondly, there are other incentives given to members of Congress that coincide with the approval of the budget on second reading and third reading in October, and the approval of the BICAM ratification coinciding also with Christmas. But I wanted to discuss a much more financially significant figure that deserves to be disclosed to the Filipino people before the approval of the 2026 budget. The House of Representatives increased the internal budget of the House of Representatives from 17.7 billion pesos to 27.7 billion pesos, an approximately 10 billion peso increase, slightly less. And I will post, of course, the exact figures also after this. I'm not saying that the House of Representatives' budget, from the NEP to the GAB, should not be increased by almost 10 billion pesos. But this is the important point. There was no debate on the increase of 10 billion pesos by the House of its own budget. So therein are two issues. The first is there is no public disclosure of why it is being increased and no details on where the increase will go. And the second point is simply logical. You're increasing your own budget. There is an inherent conflict of interest. When you are increasing your own budget, there is an inherent conflict of interest. That should not be a controversial thing for me to point out. All the more, there should be public disclosure on where it will go, and there should be an even higher burden of proof that this almost 10 billion peso increase is needed. Who will be the check and balance if we are approving and increasing our own budget? We're not even approving what the executive submitted in the NEP. We are increasing it. So it's one thing if there was a NEP submission that is approved without debate, but we increased the budget with no announcement that this was being increased and no debate on the floor. Other agencies with smaller amounts need to go through debate. This was not debated. It was just increased. Why was there an increase of 10 billion pesos with no debate on the floor and no opportunity for any member of Congress to ask where this 10 billion pesos will go? It happens that the majority of this increase goes into MOOE, or maintenance and other operating expenses, which we can see here in the NEP on the left is approximately 10.7 billion pesos. And then on the bottom right, in the GAB is approximately 18.5 billion pesos. So you have an almost 8 billion peso increase in MOOE. And I have asked and I have not yet been given a breakdown of where what will be the 18.578 billion peso MOOE budget of the House of Representatives will go. I am still doing research on where this MOOE of the House has always gone. So because I've already covered a lot, maybe you will allow me to save my findings for another day. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm saying the process is wrong. We increased our budget by almost 10 billion, of which almost 8 billion was in MOOE. And there is no debate or explanation on where this almost 8 billion pesos increase in MOOE will go. The executive set the budget at this amount, supposedly because it was already sufficient. And yet, we increased it to be above what the executive said was sufficient. So where will this almost 8 billion peso increase in MOOE go? I will put it in terms that can be well understood by the Filipino people. If there are 318 members of Congress and we increase our budget by almost 10 billion pesos, we increased the budget of Congress by an amount that is equivalent to approximately 31 million pesos per congressman. This is not like increasing the DPWH budget, where the official response is that the budget goes into DPWH projects, and there is no prima facie evidence that members of Congress have any benefit on this budget. There is no prima facie evidence that members of Congress benefit from the DPWH budget. But the budget of Congress for MOOE goes to members of Congress. And perhaps not equally. Because if you do the numbers, if there's a 10 billion peso increase for a 318 member body, that is approximately the House increased its budget by 31 million pesos per congressman, above the level of what the executive proposed, and there was no debate, and there is naturally a conflict of interest, so there should be even more debate on this. And no one is asking where the 31 million pesos per congressman will go. I have said that I have not received, I have not taken, I have not collected neither my salary nor my office budget. When I say I do not collect my office budget, I'm referring to my MOOE, because I have reservations with the MOOE of the House in general that I will save for another time. But I will just leave that question for the public to ask Congress to explain. I think the public wants to know. Itinaas ng Kongreso ang sariling budget ng 10 billion pesos, katumbas ng 31 million pesos kada congressman na walang debate. Saan napupunta ang 31 million pesos per congressman budget increase ng House sa 2026 budget? Sana bago maaprubahan ang 2026 budget, magbibigay ang Kongreso ng paliwanag. Una, saan mapupunta ang 10 billion pesos na katumbas ng 31 million pesos kada congressman? At bakit hindi ito pa ipinaliwanag sa taong bayan? And I can say this because I have not collected my MOOE. And I wish that other members of Congress will also express this point, that it should at least be discussed. Even if they collect their own MOOE, they should be free to question it. But I mentioned this at the same breath that I talk about my experience being shown a piece of paper by Attorney Julina of my incentive a week before budget approval. Because I'm sorry to draw the conclusion, but maybe the 31 million peso increase per congressman is part of the incentive to approve the budget. And now, another time we'll discuss our findings of where it goes. So, to end this then, and to connect it back to our theme for today, which is allocables, there's 400 billion pesos of DPWH allocables. There's, as we can see here, also a lot of non-DPWH allocables. This is all public funds, and I want to know how much is the allocable of every member of Congress and for every government agency to practice the same level of transparency that Secretary Vince has been pushing for in the DPWH by disclosing the allocation per district of MAIP, TUPAD, AIX, Farm to Market Roads, classrooms. I am not a hypocrite. I admit that to serve my district, we're trying to get as much budget as we can for each of these things, especially classrooms. And I'm being transparent about this kasi wala akong itinatago. Kasi para sa mga mamamayan po na lang naman ng aking distrito ito at hindi para sa akin. Kaya kung hindi tayo transparent, kung hanggang ngayon, hindi ito inaamin na may ganitong sistema ng allocable, hindi lang sa DPWH, kung hindi pati sa ibang mga ahensya ng gobyerno, bakit natin ito itiyatago? At bakit pa natin sinasabi na wala? Hindi lang no comment, nagsisinungaling pa tayo. Kaya sana po, magdalawang isip na, kahit sino man sa gobyerno na magsasabi sa akin na ako ay sinungaling, hindi po ako sinungaling. ang nagsasabi na ang mga congressman ay hindi binibigyan ng 150 million pesos plus insertion sa DPWH budget sa NEP pa lang ang nagsisinungaling. Ang nagsasabi na walang ganitong sistema ng mga allocables sa DOH, DOLE, DSWD, DA, DepEd at NIA ang nagsisinungaling. At kung tayo po ay tunay na transparent sa taong bayan, bago ang approval ng 2026 budget, sana maipaliwanag ng Kongreso bakit itinaas ang sariling budget ng almost 10 billion pesos o 31 million pesos per congressman na walang paliwanag kung saan ito mapupunta. Any questions?
Sir, sir, good afternoon po. Liana Escapanti, GMA News Online po.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Just to put it on record, ano po ba yung tamang paraan to, advocate for the projects and allocations na kailangan po ng inyong ng distrito, ng mga constituency, ng mga members of Congress and even members of the Senate. As I take it, familiarity rin siguro over the years, tama po ba? The right way to propose for your constituents is to wait for the submission of the NEP. 'Di ba? Dapat mag-antay munang masubmit yung NEP and then members of the House can, propose there na ito dapat may ganitong allocation yung aking district for this purpose like classrooms or MAIF or TUPAD. Would that be correct, sir? Na dapat mag-antay muna ng NEP submission, hindi ahead of the NEP ang pag-submit nyo ng mga proposal. Tama po ba?
Yes, I'm not questioning the outcome. I'm questioning the process. That one word, transparency. Bakit natin ititago magkano ang allocable natin sa DPWH? At bakit natin ititago magkano ang allocable natin sa DOH, DSWD, DOLE, DA, DepEd? Actually, personal opinion ko, mabuti nga na ang mga mambabatas ay may input sa DPWH kasi mababa man ang tiwala ng iba nating mga kababayan sa Kongreso, mas mababa naman ayon sa surveys ang tiwala ng taong bayan sa DPWH. Kaya delikado nga kung ipaubayan natin na lang sa mga district engineers ang paggawa ng DPWH budget. So I'm not actually saying hindi dapat makialam ang mga congressman sa NEP preparation. Dapat para hindi maaaring pagkitaan ito. At least may check and balance.
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Pero to get to my point, what I'm calling for is transparency on the allocable budget for the DPWH per district and every other government agency. And that this can be done immediately before the approval next Monday of the 2026 budget. Every government agency can release the allocable budget. I'm asking the DOH to release the allocable budget per district of MAIP. I'm asking the DSWD to release the allocable budget per district of AIX. I am asking the DepEd to release the allocable budget per district of classrooms. I am asking the NIA and the DA to release the allocable budget per district of FMRs and even the newly created Presidential Assistance for Farmers and Fisher Folks. And this is not simply for information, because when there is transparency, we can ensure that there's less corruption and less abuse of the allocation of budgets in exchange for financial consideration. Because it has been much reported that there is similar anomalies in not least the farm-to-market roads of the DA. So we have already disclosed the allocable budgets of every district in the DPWH. I am kindly asking the Department of Agriculture to release the allocable budgets or the assigned budgets of every district in the country for farm-to-market roads. The list of FMRs for 2026 has already been enumerated, and I would like to ask that before the budget is approved on Monday, we can see how much the budget of every district is in FMRs. And lastly, I would like to ask the House of Representatives to explain why did it increase its own budget by almost 10 billion pesos or almost 31 million pesos per congressman, and where the almost 8 billion peso increase in MOOE will go, not only as lump sums, but per congressman. How much will every congressman get out of the almost 8 billion pesos increase in MOOE?
Thank you po, sir. That's all from my end po. Thank you po.
Okay, so I think we've already covered a lot, but there's more to cover in the next days leading up to the ratification of the BICAM. But again, I would like to thank Secretary Vince for sharing with me the files that I uploaded on Facebook. And I would like to repeat that Yusek Claire Castro will make a fool of herself when Secretary Vince and many others will confirm the authenticity of the files that I uploaded. And I would like to dispute the claims of Congressman Redon na ako ay sinungaling dahil si Congressman Redon ang sinungaling. Dahil ang sinabi ko, ang Bicol Saro Party List ay may insertion. At yan po ay well proven. At I will upload the relevant documents as well. And ngayon naman, sa 2026 budget, lahat ng congressman ay may chance to submit their own 150M annual DPWH NEP insertion. Not all avail, but all can submit. And these have come out in the DPWH budget. Hindi po ako nagsisinungaling. Ang mga nagsasabi na ang congressman ay walang insertion sa NEP ng DPWH na 150 million pesos ang sinungaling. At lastly, sorry if you'll indulge me kasi tumagal na naman din po tayo. I'll just play for the record what I told two interviewers.
May isa akong kasamahan na
One moment.
na nawagan na ako ang maglabas.
Opo.
Pwede ko ilabas sa inyong show ang insertions niya.
Sige po. Sino po ba yung nagre-request na ilabas yung listahan?
Ito po si Bicol Saro Party List Representative Terry Redon.
Sige po, go ahead po. Meron po ba siyang insertion?
Opo, kasi ang mga party list ay may tig 150 million pesos na insertion.
Opo.
Taon-taon sa DPWH budget. At sa kadalasan, para sa mga barangay requested projects tulad ng mga multipurpose buildings o kung ano ang mga nakikita ko na insertion ng mga party list. Pero nakasulat dito ng Bicol Saro Party List ay 150 million pesos construction of road sa Pamplona at Pasacao, Camarines Sur. At ang contractor na gumagawa ng 150 million pesos roads na ito ay si Bicol Gold Rock na nagkataon ang contractor din ng karamihan ng mga ganitong klaseng mga road projects sa lugar na yon sa Camarines Sur. Kaya sinasabi ko lang din po ito para may sample si Congressman Redon ng listahan ito dahil ang punto ko ay bawat isa sa mga representante sa Kongreso ay may insertion na nakasulat po doon ang proponent at pwede ni Congressman Redon i-check ang files ng kanilang party list at maaari niyang i-confirma na ito nga ang insertion ng Bicol Saro Party List.
Ito ang insertion ng Bicol Saro Party List. Maaari ni Congressman Redon i-check sa kanyang party list. Ito ang insertion ng Bicol Saro Party List. I did not say ito ang insertion ni Congressman Terry Redon. Ang sinabi ko, insertion niya, and then I explained, isinumite ng kanyang party list dahil siya naman ay miyembro ng kanyang party list noong 2024 pa. And I'm sorry, but in another time, I will have to explain, maaari na ang campaign funds pala ng mga politiko ay nanggagaling sa kanilang mga insertions. Kaya pala, lumalaki ang DPWH budget pag election dahil nagkataon at the same time, kailangan din ng mga politiko ng campaign fund. Kaya, sino ang nakinabang sa 150 million peso road insertion ng Bicol Saro Party List sa 2025 budget? Walang iba kung hindi si Congressman Terry Redon. At meron bang insertion muli ang Bicol Saro Party List ni Congressman Terry Redon sa 2026 budget? Opo. At dahil sa kanyang mga pahayag, binahagi ko na din ngayon na lahat pala ng mga congressman, pati mga party list ay maaaring mag-submit ng 150 million peso insertion sa DPWH NEP. Paumanhin sa aking mga kasamahan, ito po ay aking ibinunyag dahil sa mga pahayag ni Congressman Terry Redon. Ang sinabi ko, ang Bicol Saro ay may party list insertion sa 2025 DPWH NEP. But on that note, meron din sa 2026 NEP. Ang lahat may chance to submit. And on that note, ang mga nakikinabang dito, ang mga tumatakbo dahil, well, let's say, kahit na wala namang anomalya, napapakinabangan nila kasi pwede nilang ipagmalaki sa mga bayan na yon na meron silang ibinababang pondo na mapapakinabangan ng taong bayan. Kaya sila ibinoboto dahil sa magandang balita na may road project sa kanilang mga distrito. Pero, ang bagong halal na party list rep ay din nakinabang sa insertion sa 2025. Pero ang sinabi ko ay ang party list ang may insertion. Pero sa 2026, meron din chance lahat na mag-submit ng insertions. At hinihiling ko na isapubliko ng bawat isa ang kanilang mga insertions. At mas mabuti pa kung ang DPWH at ang Kongreso ay magsapubliko ng insertions ng lahat na contrary to what was said in the budget hearings over here, hindi naman sa wala silang datos. Ngayong araw na to, pwedeng ilabas ng Kongreso ang isinumite ng bawat isa.
Pero, sir, pwede ba akong magbigay ng isang pangalan?
Lastly po ito.
Go ahead.
Maliban sa yung nabanggit ko last time on your show about Congressman Edwin Garjola na may over 20 billion projects dito, over the weekend kasi may isa akong kasamahan sa Kongreso na nagsabi, bakit hindi lang ni Leandro isa publiko ang listahan? Ang sagot dyan na banggit ko na kanina, pero yung isa is ayoko naman na magalit sa akin yung buong Kongreso. Pero dahil siya ay nanawagan na isa publiko ko, pwede kong banggitin ang insertions niya. Ito po ay si Bicol Saro Party List Representative Terry Redon. Si Bicol Saro Party List po ay may 150 million pesos road project insertion sa Pamplona at Pasacao, Camarines Sur. Ito pong dalawang line items, 75 million pesos each, were awarded to the same company, Bicol Gold Rock, at a winning price of 73.5 million pesos, which is 2% below the approved budget. And this same company, Bicol Gold Rock, has cornered the majority of projects like this in this area. Kaya just to give that one little example, kasi nanawagan naman si Kong Redon na ilabas ang listahan, pwede niyang i-check kung tunay ba na ang Bicol Saro Party List ay nag-submit ng 150 million pesos road projects sa Camsur, at pwede natin tingnan kung may kaugnayan ang Bicol Saro Party List sa Bicol Gold Rock na kontraktor.
Okay, but I'd like to...
So, even before Ginoong Ted Filon clarified that Congressman Terry Redon was not a member of the 20th Congress, ang sinabi ko, pwede nga ni Congressman Terry Redon i-check na ang kanyang party list, ang Bicol Saro, ay may isinubmit na insertion sa 2025 budget. At yun po, aking claim ay ang 150 million pesos road projects sa Pamplona at Pasacao. Pero ako po ay nagpapasalamat din kay Congressman Redon. Actually, tuwang-tuwa ako na bring up niya ang topic na ito. Kasi dahil dito, nalaman na rin ng publiko, hindi lang ang Bicol Saro at hindi lang si Congressman Terry Redon ay may 150 million peso insertion sa DPWH budget. Lahat ng congressman ay pwedeng mag-submit ng kanilang 150 million peso insertion na lumalabas sa DPWH NEP na sinasabi ng DPWH ay nanggagaling sa DPWH na nung tinanong sa budget hearing ay itinanggi na nanggagaling sa mga politiko at yun po ay hindi totoo. Ang katotohanan, may 150 million kada congressman, 160 million peso nga kada party list na maaaring ipasok sa DPWH National Expenditure Program. Panghuli, if I can just add, I would like to end by bringing it back to the original topic of why I am only saying this after the death of Yusek Cabral. Even now, I'm looking at some of the comments. There's some media that said that I explained that I said it only after the death because of so-and-so reasons. I kindly ask the media not to post inaccuracies that I'm only saying this after the death of Yusek Cabral. First, as I said, I got the documents after Yusek Cabral had a phone call with Sec Vince. And I talked with Sec Vince about this being released to the public. And Sec Vince said he agrees. I thought that Sec Vince was going to release this to the public in September, and at the very least give it to the ICI and the Ombudsman. And I have been earnestly, sincerely giving a chance to Sec Vince to be the one to bring this to the public so that he can be the one credited, because I wouldn't be here now sharing this if not for Sec Vince. Thank you, Sec Vince, for giving me the material to release to the public, and how I wish it was Sec Vince that released this to the public. But I understand it's difficult because yung mga nasa listahan, ayaw nila lumabas ang listahan. But I thank Sec Vince for releasing it to me, and now I am releasing it to the public. Number two, I showed the list to the ICI and the Ombudsman, and they said it was the first time that they saw it. But I showed it to them. So I kindly ask the media not to carry stories without giving context that I did show it to the ICI and the Ombudsman. It should not be said, why am I only doing this now after the death of Yusek Cabral? Because I showed this to the ICI and the Ombudsman in November. And only after that were there calls for it to be released, and eventually they were released to the ICI and the Ombudsman, or at least the Ombudsman. So I kindly ask the media not to be inaccurate and carry any story without a correct statement of facts that I showed this to the ICI and the Ombudsman in November. And furthermore, I kindly ask the media not to post any story that says, why did Leandro only talk about the Cabral list after the death of Yusek Cabral? Because I'm giving an advertisement here to ANC, but you can watch my interview on November 20. Ex-DPWH Yusek Cabral may know more than Bernardo Bonoan over project insertions. So maybe the media could check who was the first person who said that Yusek Cabral knew more about the DPWH budget than anyone else and would be a valuable resource for the flood control investigations, and raised questions why she was not being used more as a resource in the flood control investigations. I long thought that she should have been the state witness, and if this was acted upon, how I wish that she did not lose her life last week. And I take exception to anyone who says that I'm only doing this after the death of Yusek Cabral. I was bringing attention to this while Yusek Cabral was alive, and the government was not acting on it. And, well, I've already said before, her family released a statement released to me by her lawyer that it was unfortunate that there was, in fact, a public shaming campaign on people whom cases were not even filed on. So I'm not yet getting to that point, but it's unfortunate that some of the public statements contributed to some of the unfortunate events last week. We should not be treating DPWH officials like Yusek Cabral that way when they have the information that can implicate the real people who are most responsible, who are the proponents of these DPWH projects. And I kindly ask the media not to post anything without adding the correct statement of facts. Again, I'm advertising here ANC. Leviste, ICI needs to look at who proposes infra projects. It will open new can of worms. Actually, those were the words of the media, not mine. But my laptop, in this picture, I showed to them the list of Yusek Cabral in November. And I said that this should be looked into by the ICI. The DPWH did not give the Cabral files when Yusek Cabral was still alive. I called for them to do so in November. I kindly ask Yusek Claire Castro to correct all of the inaccurate statements that she has made. But even if she does not, she will be made a fool when the records and the DPWH themselves will corroborate what I am saying. Thank you. Okay, any final question? Okay, hearing none. I would like to end by thanking the House of Representatives. I'm here in my House of Representatives office now for allowing me to express my thoughts on the budget and not stripping my district's budget despite my outspokenness on this. And like to reiterate my request that before the 2026 budget is ratified next week, that the DPWH release the data on the insertions of every proponent and confirm the allocable budgets per district, that the DA release the allocable of each district for FMRs and the presidential assistance for farmers and fisher folks, that the DSWD release the allocable AIX, the DOLE release the allocable TUPAD, the DOH release the allocable MAIP, the DepEd release the allocable classrooms, which I admit, I'll have a lot of classrooms next year. And if this is going to the people, then there's nothing to hide. We should be transparent on where the budget is going. And most importantly, all of these things at least have already been aired in the media. But one thing that has not been aired is where is the almost 10 billion peso increase in the House of Representatives budget going. And I would like to ask the House of Representatives to explain, first, where is the 10 billion peso almost increase going and why this was deliberated without any debate in the House. And I would like to call upon my colleagues to acknowledge that it was wrong to approve this budget without any debate, especially when we are the beneficiaries of this budget and that almost 8 billion pesos of this goes into the MOOE, which goes into the pockets of congressmen. The almost 10 billion peso increase in the budget equates to almost 31 million pesos per congressman. Congress increased its budget by almost 31 million pesos per congressman without any debate. And I'm kindly asking before the ratification of the budget that an explanation of where this 31 million pesos per congressman will go. Maraming salamat po at maligayang Pasko po sa inyong lahat. That ends our press briefing for today. Thank you.